Hello everybody, and welcome to Darkwolf's Den. I am Darkwolf. It's a very, very big honor today to make this video because we've recently had the chance to sit down with the host of the Mandela Effect Conference himself, the elusive Jerry Hicks. That's right, we sit down and interviewed Jerry Hicks. So here is the interview in its entirety. I hope everybody enjoys. Hey Jerry, thanks for being here today with us. I really appreciate you sitting down with us. First question. For those who don't know you, why don't you go ahead and give everybody a little background on who you are and how you came about the Mandela Effect and just a little background basically on how you come to be where you're at right now. Thanks, DW, and it's a pleasure to be here. As you can see, I got your likeness on my shirt here, just for you, buddy, just for this interview. Anyway, hi everybody, my name is Jerry Hicks. I am the host of the 2019 Mandela Effect West Coast Conference, or West Coast Mandela Effect Conference, sorry. A little nervous here. Anyway, I don't do interviews very much, so this is kind of rare for me, as everybody I'm sure knows. I've been a paranormal researcher for about 28 years now. I've been into UFOs, I've been into ghosts, I've been into the cryptids, the crazy creatures. Not like yourself, Wolf, but the cryptids just the same. And, just a lot of different things. I've really enjoyed paranormal, and I like science too. So the science and the paranormal together, I always tried to match up, and So in 2015, I found the Mandela Effect. At the time, there was only a couple Mandela effects, maybe 3 or 4, and I didn't really get into it at first. It kind of took a minute, and see, there were only like 4 of them, like I said, when I began. And I had a roommate that I told about this, so every now and then, maybe every week or two, he would throw out, hey, somebody else claimed this was a Mandela Effect. And every now and then it'd be like, that doesn't sound right. Of course, there were some things, even today, that I don't really know. We all have that. But so I figured as a passing fad, it wouldn't take very long at all, and it would just be over with. And little did we know, it was very active already. I know what you mean. You've really given us a lot to unpack, bud. And by the way, I do really like that shirt. A lot. But anyway, so you were a paranormal researcher already. So you're already into the weird and the woo, if you will. And then you found the effect in 2015, and you told your roommate about it, and he would report to you every now and then different effects, and you thought it was just going to pass and be gone and whatever. That's really cool. So I'm sure a lot of people did back then. Nobody expected it to become what it has today. But you mentioned it was already active. What do you mean by that? Well, clearly today it's still going on, so we know it was already active back then. And it's only increased. Like I said, there was like 3 or 4 effects back then, and that was it. And today there's hundreds, thousands even, by some claims. And there's huge ones now, like the maps and so many crazy things. Things that in the beginning just weren't there. We've watched things change over time. That's one reason I know the Mandela Effect is very real. So you just said that like you had some doubt. Were you hooked from the very beginning and from day one, or did you kind of question it and not really sure about it for a while? That's a really good question, DW. So I did and didn't. So I did kind of believe, I seen it around me. I knew things were changing. I knew that certain ones just did not match my memory. There was 1 or 2 that just absolutely know, when you hear an effect. You just know that feeling you get. But still there was that idea that maybe it's false memory. I am still human, unlike you, but apparently it affects all of us the same, huh? But I am still human, so, I wondered if it could be false memory. Even after I started the YouTube channel, I wondered if it could be false memory. After you started doing the theory series and all that, and I was still wondering at that point when we were doing that if we were, misleading people. Oh yeah, I did forget to ask. You mentioned that you found the effect, but you never mentioned what the exact Mandela effect was that started it for you. You said there weren't very many to choose from back then, so what was the big one that really just got you without question? And then we'll move back on to the flip-flops where we were. Yeah, no problem, DW. So my first one was the Berenstain Bears. That's a book I grew up with. I know that book. Without question, I know that book. I learned to read on that book. I remember asking my mother at one point, because we had spent time in Germany when I was younger, if American people were saying the word right, if it should be pronounced Steen or Stein. I would like to think my mother would have said, there's an A there, it's neither. However, her answer was, it depends on what country you're in, which made complete sense to me. So, yeah, anyway, the Berenstain Bears, that was my number one, without question, Mandela effect. Oh, the Bears, that's a big one for a lot of people. So, back to the flip-flops that we were discussing a moment ago. So tell me, or tell us, I guess you'd say, tell our audience exactly how the flip-flops convinced you that it was real. What was that moment that you just knew, without question, this is real? It happened twice, actually. So, Moneybags, as most people in the community know already who that is, came out with a video and said Victoria's Secret had lost the apostrophe S. Well, I was sure that they were just mistaken because it sounds too much alike with or without the apostrophe S. So I called craps. I didn't think it was right. I didn't make a public video or anything, but I said, I don't think this is right. I don't believe, or I didn't have you make a video, I should say. But I don't believe that this is correct. And for about 2 weeks, I took a hard stand against most people in the community who had done come out and said, yeah, I remember it like this, and I was still, no, I'm not convinced. 2 weeks later, the apostrophe S reappears in reality. All the proofs that I had the apostrophe S on them all of a sudden. I didn't know what to do. Then the same thing happened to Costco. It lost its T. I was not convinced. 2 weeks later, the T showed back up. I was convinced. At that point, I couldn't deny it. False memory cannot cover a flip-flop. It just don't do it. I took a hard stance against a flip, and it flopped. I couldn't explain that. And even weirder about those is when you go back to find the evidence of the flip, the evidence is gone. It's only flop evidence left. It is such a strange part of the effect. Alright, Jerry, we really appreciate you sitting down with us. We don't want to take too much of your time up. I know you're a busy man. You have a project coming up, is that right? Why don't you tell us about that and where everybody can find you in the next, week or so? That's absolutely right, Darkwolf. I am the host of the 2019 West Coast Mandela Effect Conference. It is going to be in Ketchum, Idaho, November 8th through the 10th from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Everybody check out MandelaEffectConference.com if you haven't already. Tickets are right now $20 and up to the door are $20. So we really, really would love to see everyone there. And it's been an absolute pleasure sitting down with you, Darkwolf. I've really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me for this interview. Sounds like lots of fun, bud. And it's been my pleasure having you here and speaking with you today. I just got one more question and I'll let you go. What do you say to those people who say you and I sound almost identical, if not a whole lot alike? I would say those people don't know what they're talking about. We don't sound anything alike. That's just silly talk. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for having me on Darkwolf, and you guys have a wonderful day. Talk to you later. See everybody in Ketchum, Idaho. We're really looking forward to it. Thanks everybody. Bye for now. And there he goes, everybody. That was Jerry Hicks, the host of the 2019 Mandela Effect West Coast Conference. We were really glad to sit down and have that interview with him. He's such a fun guy. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Until next time, everybody, make sure you check out MandelaEffectConference.com. And as always, stay awake, but dare to dream. Bye, everybody.